Welcome all to Melee Lite. Melee Lite is a web fan game of Melee that plays shockingly similar to the original, with some notable discrepancies. Like, this is not the one-to-one that Fizzy is aiming to create. I don't know how many people heard about that. If you're not like into Melee, maybe you didn't see it. Fizzy is working on a sort of a platform fighter successor to Melee, which is meant to be like mechanically the same, but like its own distinct characters, I guess. I think it's not a terrible idea, but I don't think it'll work. I think it's a good idea that might fail, or will most likely fail. And the reason for that is that Melee players want to play Melee, and even if it's mechanically identical, it's not Melee. A big part of why people play Melee, at least for me, and I think for a lot of the older players in particular, is that that it is a Nintendo game and you can play as Fox and you can play as Mario and all of these characters from our respective childhoods. One of the things I've always said is Captain Falcon, he's a Smash character, right? And I'm not the first person to come up with this idea. I think a lot of people have kind of independently come up with this idea that Captain Falcon at this point is less of an F-Zero character and more of a Smash character. And that kind of makes sense if you think about it, because he doesn't have a huge presence in his home game of F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. He doesn't have a huge presence within that game. And he was already carving out more of an identity through Smash Brothers with like Falcon Punch and stuff than through his home games, where he didn't have as much of a personality. Now, of course, that changed with F-Zero GX. I'm pretty sure there's like cutscenes and stuff. I don't know. I didn't ever beat that game. It's pretty difficult. But I'm pretty sure that has changed. But like at this point, I mean, kids today who play like Ultimate, for example, or even Smash 4, I mean, to be honest, even Brawl, by the time those games came out, F-Zero was long dead. And I know that there was that new like F-Zero 99 and stuff, but that's not introducing more people to Captain Falcon, right? That's just like, there's one of these levels that's pretty cool. It's this one. So first of all, you can do this cool thing where you can go through this. I don't remember how to do it, but there's a way to like basically glitch through the wall here that's very fast. I think you just like shield drop, right? Yeah, you just shield drop there and you go through the wall. That's obviously not one-to-one with Melee physics. Shield dropping doesn't have that ability in any of the levels I've played, which is all of them. Okay. Yeah, it has to do with like weird collision stuff with the ledge. Anyway, I've always had like, you know, Captain Falcon. Okay, we can call him a Smash character. His identity, at least for most players, such as myself, who's not really played as many F-Zero games, his identity feels a lot more Smash adjacent to me, at least, than it is like F-Zero related. And this would have been true for Pit as well if we didn't get the new Uprising. If we didn't get Kid Icarus Uprising, then we would be saying the same about Pit. I mean, you can almost say the same about Jigglypuff, and I don't mean that Jigglypuff is like a Smash character in the same way that Captain Falcon is, but the Jigglypuff that we have in Smash has a very different association than the Jigglypuff from the anime. The distinct character from the anime who sings and everyone goes to sleep, and it's like, you know, kind of a cute little, angry little version of Jigglypuff where it gets mad that everyone falls asleep and it draws on people's faces and stuff. Like, that's obviously a different character. At least if you ask me, obviously a different character to the Puff that we have in Smash. the Puff that we have in Smash is a tricky kind of, I mean, some people would say demonic. I wouldn't go that far. But there is this association that Puff is like a sort of, a more kind of, I don't know, a fearful character, you know? We fear Puff because of what she's capable of. I mean, she does stuff that no other Smash character does. I don't know how much you want to take that into consideration when we're talking about like, oh, this is like a different character from the anime. I would accept that that's not necessarily the strongest point to be making. I'm just kind of spit. Oh, can you just air dodge through here? Oh, you can. What the hell? That's what I need to be doing. And then just shoot a laser. This could be very fast. Okay, so to get up there, we're gonna double jump up B. I don't know if the up B's fast. I think we just jump. Oh, you can full hop straight to that platform with Fox. But I think you don't. I think you do it like that and then just air dodge straight in. Get it first try. Like if you could go straight in, that would be super duper fast. I mean, even second try is like pretty damn fast. Other than the fact that I missed the laser. But that's 8 seconds. That's a gold star. I even beat the dev on that one. Because I presumably the dev just didn't find the bug there. I'm pretty sure I didn't find it either. I think I saw it in a video or something. But yeah, Melee Light came out ages ago and it hasn't been developed in ages. So like... But it's the same website that has like the knockback calculator and stuff. It's iNeeData. And it's such a useful website for, you know, calculating scenarios of like, oh, would this move kill? Or when I was playing Yoshi, it was particularly useful for like, what percentage do these moves break armor? And I didn't have to like, you know, go into training mode to figure it out. Which can be kind of awkward sometimes because if you're at like a setup, and you don't have Uncle Punch, then it can be hard to actually hit the Yoshi with one controller while you're actually playing as the Yoshi with the other. So I have a lot of respect for people who were like working all of this stuff out before we had the dev tools and 20XX and stuff like that. That's it's a big chunk of work, all things considered. But I mean, Melee can be described by its relationship with its fans, in the case that just everything has been figured out because people are so dedicated to the game, right? And it's been so many years, 20 years or something. And we're still like figuring out new stuff. V-canceling was discovered in like 2015. And that's an intentional game mechanic. That was put there by someone. We're not talking about like niche interactions like the Pipsqueak thing where you like SDI diagonally down on Fox up air. Like, that's cool, but like we're also discovering stuff that was put there by the developers on purpose. Just like as recently as 2015, V-canceling is found out and people still don't do it. It's not super useful of a technique because the way V-canceling works is you can reduce the knockback you take by 10% if you press L as though it were an L cancel. The only trouble is you need to be not doing anything. You need to be not in a move. And you need to be in the air. Like, you can't do it on the ground. So while it does have some application, like if you know they can hit you, if they're like juggling you or something, if you know they can hit you, but you can't hit them. Like if you're Peach, Peach isn't that good at hitting like below herself. That's kind of like when she's in the air, one of her vulnerabilities is that you can't really hit directly below yourself. Obviously you have down air, but like it's weak. It's got problems with it. It's not as reliable as like a Fox drill, right? Or even a Fox Nair. I mean, a Yoshi Nair, right? These are moves that, like, can pretty reliably hit below you. When I was Yoshi, I'd Nair out of everything. I mean, that's what Luigi's doing, and it's what Luigi's, like, known for. But a bunch of characters just Nair out of shit. But yeah, Come on, dude. Yeah, there's a way to do it. Like, there's a finesse to it, but I don't know. God, what was I saying? Yeah, V-canceling, it's not super useful, but I could see it being used by characters like Peach in some niche scenarios to maybe live a little bit longer. I know there was an example, I think Hungrybox V-cancelled something and lived because of it. I don't know if that was like factual information or if my source was wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was a time at a tournament in the last like couple years where Hungrybox V-cancelled something and lived longer because of it. Like, that's something that, like, in the future will probably be applied more often. I still don't think it's gonna, like, revolutionize the game, but there's so much stuff that just doesn't get implemented because it's, like, it kind of impractical, but, like, in some scenarios is better. It's, like, kind of obscure. I would describe V-canceling as being a kind of obscure application, but it is strictly better in some scenarios. Like, if you're gonna get hit anyway, and you know you're gonna get hit, then don't do an attack, just try to V-cancel it. I could see the application in that. I mean, I don't know how good it is, strictly speaking, but yeah, this game is not one-to-one with Melee's physics, but it is damn close. Like, I would be happy if I was you know, unable to play Melee for whatever reason, and someone was like, yo, do you want to play, like, Melee Lite? I would be happy to play this. It doesn't play exactly like Melee, by any means, but it's near enough. I mean, there's definitely problems with it, but it's a web-based Melee clone. I think it's amazing just for being that, and I think more people should know that it exists, because it's just cool, right? It's just really awesome. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use it to practice necessarily, because, like, if I couldn't play Melee, I wouldn't want to practice with something that's almost Melee, because I feel like it wouldn't help. I feel like you'd be getting better at Melee Lite, but you wouldn't necessarily be improving at Melee proper, because they're different enough that you can definitely feel it, particularly on the hits. I feel like there's a problem with the hit stun. I don't know what it is, but it just feels a little bit sluggish. It's kind of hard to do follow-ups, in my opinion, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad. I don't usually play Melee on an Xbox controller, and that is what I'm using now, so that probably has something to do with it feeling weird. I got the edge cancels though. But yeah, pretty cool game. I mean, it's even got analog shields. That's, like, pretty cool. It's also only got 3 characters. I never mentioned this, but Fox, Marth, and Puff are the only ones in it. But yeah, that was Melee Lite. It's pretty cool.